Stampers, Deb Valder here, your Fun Stampers Journey Coach, and today I'm going to show you how to do this beautiful card using one of our new background stamps. The stamp that I'm going to use today is called Modern Frame, and it's a little bit different than any other background stamp that we have in the fact that it also has a coordinating, let me just show you, a coordinating die set to go along with it. So this piece, like I said, has a coordinating die with it. This little circle right here matches up perfectly with this frame. This is something brand new that Fun Stampers Journey has come out with. And like I said, they are absolutely coordinating. They go very well together. You can take and you can cut some of these little pieces up to go along with it. So if I wanted to add some of these to the outside of it, I could. There's also this little sprague right here and also a little circle to go in the inside of that. It's absolutely beautiful. So let me just show you how I use this. I'm going to take and I'm going to first mount my stamp. So let's just grab out of my Journey pockets here. I'm going to take it, I'm going to mount my stamp, and I'm going to put it on a J block right here. That is our biggest block that we have. I'm just going to mount it onto our J block, making sure that the grid lines go down below, underneath, and the smooth side is where my my background stamp is going to go. All right, it doesn't have to be straight because, like I said, we're just going to stamp this onto cardstock. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ink this up with my black licorice ink. Let me get this back in here so you can see what I'm doing. I'm gonna mount this on my block. I'm going to ink it up with my black licorice ink. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to take a 5 1/4, or I'm sorry, 5 1/2 by 4 1/4 inch. That's a full quarter sheet of cardstock, and then I'm going to cut it down. For me, it's just easier to do it that way, and I'll show you why after I get this done. So let's just take and ink this up. Now you want to make sure you don't get any on the middle, because I'm actually going to use the middle. So what I do is just ink this up on the outside like this, all the way around, inking it up really good with our black licorice ink. You can do this in any color, but I'm going to use the black licorice. All right, so that's good. I'm gonna, for this one, now this one I didn't do it, but for this one I think I might emboss it, and I just think that that would look really pretty. All right, so I'm just gonna take and mount this on here. I'm gonna stamp it, and like I said, it doesn't have to be straight because I'm gonna cut it out. I'm gonna bring in my clear embossing powder in my media tray. Scoop up some of my embossing powder and then heat it. Hold on, I like to get one of my chip clips. Let me just find one of my chip clips, and I'm going to hold it with a chip clip because I don't want to get my hands burned. Okay, so just grab any chip clip that you have. All right, now we have the outside of our piece all embossed. So let's get this out of the way. And the next thing I'm going to do is to cut it. So I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer, and I'm just going to cut straight right down. All right, so I'm just going to line up this line right here and this line right here. And using our cutter, we're just going to cut it. Whoop. Let me just take. There we go. All right, now we've got a straight edge, so we're going to take this one and cut it from here to here. So make sure we got that. What I'm doing is just lining up these little, there we go. All right, now we're going to line up this one. And this one. Alrighty, so now we have this all cut out. Now this is where our die comes in. So I'm going to bring in these pieces right here. I'm going to take this and I'm going to go and I'm going to cut it out. Now I'm just going to line it up. See how perfectly that lines up? We're going to cut this out. I'm not going to throw this piece away because I'm actually going to use it for this piece right inside here. So I'm just going to take and go cut that out right now. All right, here we go. Now I have this piece right here. That's the middle piece. Okay, leaves a very nice little white frame right around there. It's just so pretty. Let me show you how pretty that looks when it gets together with the black cardstock that I'm going to put it on. Isn't that so pretty? Now I could stamp right on the inside of that if I wanted to, but I wanted to use this as my inside. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my black licorice ink again. I'm going to use the word thankful, and that's going to come from this little set right here called Cottage Bouquet, and I'm going to use the word thankful right there. So I have both my my vase stamp and my word thankful, and I'm just going to ink them up. Use my embossing powder again. Okay, there's one, two, bring in my embossing powder, okay, and heat that. And I've got that all heated. Okay. Now what I'm going to use to color this are going to be my pure colored pencils right here, and you don't use any medium with pure color pencils. You just color and make it look just beautiful. Remember, we have 2 layers of these, so I'm just going to lift these up. There we go. And there we go. Okay, so now let's just grab, let's see, we're going to start with the water. So I'm going to use 2 different colors for the water. I'm going to use a light blue, and I'm going to use maybe a darker blue right here. And when you go to use these, you're just going to take and hold your hand out here because you don't want to put too much pressure on that. And just color. So I'm sticking to 2 colors. I'm sticking with a light color and a darker color. For me, it's a lot easier to use few colors. I'm not a watercolor artist by any means, but I do like the way my pieces come out, and I try to make it as simple as I can for just us card makers to make our pieces look pretty professional on an unprofessional basis. But I just like it. I use light, and then I go back in with a little bit of dark, and I think it really adds to the piece quite a bit. There we go, and let's go with a little bit of our darker. Okay, and we're just going to take and just, that one looks a little bit too pinky there. Let's try this one. There we go. Again, just sticking with 2 colors. You can kind of mix and match. That's what's really nice about the Fun Stampers Journey colors is they are, there's so many that you can choose from. I just love these pure color pencils. Okay, and then we're going to go with our greens, and I'm going to go with 2 of the lighter greens. So for these 2 greens, I'm using a light green and a dark green. I'm going to go back in with the darker green and just highlight. I'm also going to make sure that I do the bottom part of the stems that are underneath the water, and then we are good to go as far as my greens go. There. Okay, now let's move these out of the way. And we're going to take and start putting our card together. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to add some of our Journey foam squares. And that's going to get popped onto, let me just use 2 of our smaller ones here. All right, and that's going to get popped. Right here. Look at how pretty that looks already. Oh my goodness, it's just so pretty. Go over just a little bit here. Okay, now this one I'm going to put directly down in there because I want that to lay flat so that this pops up. So I'm just going to grab some of my Easy Glide here and just slide that right in there. Pop this back up again. There we go. See? There we go. Look at that. Isn't that so pretty? Now, the only thing I have left to do is to add my Journey Glaze. So let me just grab my Journey Glaze. And what we're going to do right now is to add this little piece right here. See, let me see. There, see? Oh, yes, you can see it. Oh, look at that. See? And it makes it look like there's really water underneath here. So I'm just going to take this and just go all the way around here. Now, I didn't capture these flowers right here because they are outside the vase. But obviously I'm capturing the inside leaves because they're inside the vase. And then I just set this aside to dry. Because this is pretty thick, it'll take about, maybe a half an hour to dry. And if you're going to put it in an envelope, I would let it dry a little bit longer, but to the touch, probably about a half an hour. And that is the piece right then and there. And it's a little cloudy right now. Make sure you just kind of tap it to get all the goop out of the upper part of it. But that is my card for today. It's really easy, but look at how beautiful this is. And see how it's just kind of popped up there? Can you see that? This is kind of recessed, and this one's I just love it. I absolutely love it. So just to recap, this is the modern frame. And remember, it does have the coordinating die to go along with it. And I also use the cottage bouquet. Whoops. I also use the cottage bouquet for the words. So hop on over to my blog for some more inspiration. I do have all of the ingredients right down below here. So if you want to click on any of those links, you can purchase these right from my YouTube video. Or you can hop on over to my blog because I have a whole bunch of stuff over there. Make sure you do subscribe to both my blog and my YouTube video and you will miss nothing. Click that little bell by the subscribe button and you'll be set to go. You take care, have a great day, and thank you so much for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Bye-bye.